6:30. Flag is back here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. The agenda is not exactly perfect because Beth's report is not really old business. There's no business there. And I have to report on an absence that I will be taking, not from meetings, but that I'll be out, so Beth will be covering. So with those changes, that it's not really old business and that I have to report on an time I'll be out of state. Can we adopt the agenda? I'll take a motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll move to adopt the agenda.
Second.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we've all seen the meeting minutes from August 12th. I'd like a motion to adopt those minutes. I'll move to adopt those meeting minutes. Second. All in favor? Aye. Okay, so my report is that from September, from September 24th to September 30th, I will be at a literary festival in North Carolina. And so Beth will be assuming the duties of president while I'm gone.
Does that mean that I have to have bed stress?
Yes,
Absolutely.
Here's the stress dream, have fun. I am going to be accessible. I'll be able to get texts unless I'm in sessions though, so I guess not all the time. Congratulations to Josh and Maggie for your timely completion of the first drafts of policies. I sent them to Robert and I did get responses on things that we need to look at. I tried to print out your drafts so that everybody could have them in front of them for input and failed multiple times tonight. So I have it on the,
We all have them in our email.
you all have them in your email, but I couldn't get a hard copy in front of you. So here is what Robert said. First, you all also got the response to how do we go about making sure that we don't more quickly than we should in best practice, adopt or vote on something. So the policy is drafted, which you have done. Then it's sent to council, which I did and got review and comment back. Then the entire board gets it shared with them, which you have had it shared, and tonight is our input night. We don't actually have a policy and governance committee. It's kind of you, Maggie, most of the time, right? But that's not official.
No, I mean, we're very small boards.
Right.
Large boards often have many committees. But
We
you look
don't.
at those and you do the handbook book club, you'll see they're talking about boards that are 17
Yeah,
people and
okay.
24 people.
Yeah. So, that's just a note, but we don't have that. Any changes that we suggest tonight or that have come back from council get reviewed by staff and council again. Then once we've made the corrections or changes, the revisions, the policy then on a subsequent meeting would be approved by us before posting.
So did you email his comments to everybody?
I did not. I wrote them down to share with you though.
Okay.
Where did I put them? I can remember most of them. Yeah, I wrote them down. So in terms of the volunteer policy, he had said before that typically that policy, since it's overseen by the staff, would be something that they wrote, but it's helpful that Josh wrote the first draft. His questions were regarding background checks.
My questions or his questions?
His question. Robert said, be careful about the background checks and that we would need to make sure that our employee handbook was up to date with background checks and it was all seamless and the same. And he also told me to check with Sal's, which I did, but they had a new director that started yesterday. So she hasn't had a chance to get get back to me yet.
Did he explain what we have to be careful about with background checks?
He said that it is kind of a gotcha process and it needs to be carefully set up if you're going to adopt it. And it also costs money, so we have to see about that in terms of the budget. I went on other libraries' sites to see what I could see there. And Robert also mentioned this, but it's rolled into the employee handbook on other sites that like Northville, I think I wrote down.
I think it was
Northville Public Library. I checked their website and Schuylerville's because they both are school libraries like we are. And they have they're together. The employee volunteer policy are one and the same. Not one and the same, but they're all part of one policy.
It's actually a handbook, but not a policy, yeah.
Right, it's a handbook. I
It's-
made copies of the handbooks for
Yeah.
everybody's reference.
Yeah,
I mean, we can create make a policy, but
Yeah.
this was something Courtney had.
right.
And I know I had to sign it when I clerked underneath her,
Mhm,
which was several years ago now.
mhm.
It has not been used since I started here almost 2 years ago, and Claire has never seen it either.
Yeah.
Until, I showed it to her, she
Yeah.
never had to sign it. So I did forward it again to Robert this afternoon for him to review it.
Mhm.
But I do like the idea of adding like a clause, a paragraph, whatever, I don't know what the technical term is, for volunteers, like I think it was Northville that did
Yeah,
it, that just,
Northville
that,
has it.
volunteers are
Covered under all these.
non-compensated employees, that's basically what they are, so they fall under the same rules and regulations as the employees, they're not compensated,
Right, right.
which I kind of like, because that way everybody's held to the same.
right. So I think we're not taking any action on this tonight, but I think what's the flow of it is now you've created the draft, we've gotten counsel, now it goes to Marion and the staff to make the adjustments, changes, comes back to us for an input at a subsequent meeting, then we would vote on whether we adopt it or not. Does that sound kosher to everyone? Okay. The trustee training policy, he said it's all good, except the paragraph on the enforcement might need some rewording. It is, it's something that is required, so if you don't complete your training, you can be removed from office. But he said the board would need to issue charges and hold a hearing to remove a trustee. That has to be stated carefully. And the timeline has to be stated carefully on that policy.
That, paragraph I also pulled from
Some
several other
yeah,
libraries, including
yeah.
Albany,
Okay,
Public. So, but we can absolutely, again, it goes to Marion.
Right.
For that.
so it just, I guess, we have to
So
word it
after-
in such a way that it's careful, that we're not capricious.
I
And
don't think I do the trustee policy.
no, Marion doesn't do the
Oh,
trustee
okay.
policy because that,
Because that's us.
the
Yeah.
trustees governing the trustees and
Okay, so I can-
adjusting to the law, New York State
I
education.
didn't get either of those emails, did you? Get the emails with Robert?
Not
no,
from
not with
Robert.
Robert, from when you sent I would say we got the draft policies. You sent the draft policy to everybody and I sent my draft policy.
Got it, okay,
Right,
That's
and then
all.
I sent them off to Robert and Robert responded to me.
Yeah. that's what I meant.
okay.
And then I wrote down what he said to share.
Okay, so I can rewrite that enforcement draft, okay.
And then I checked on, Josh, you had a question about whether it was legal for us to be required to sign code of ethics and conflict of interest. And it is, it's required under general municipal law 800 because we're not for profit. And that is also something you can see on the Corinth Library website. I checked Schuylerville, Northville because they're both public school library websites, and then I checked Corinth because the demographic is similar.
Is that what Robert said, though? That
Yes,
is legally required?
yes, it's legally required. So we do have
So
to,
that's a code of ethics and a
and a conflict of interest. And I handed out to you a copy from, it's right out of your handbook, but another copy of what they have as a sample code of ethics. We have to create these documents also and then sign them. but by law, we are required once a year to sign these things.
Okay, do you want me to create these documents based on the handbook? I mean, all it really means is creating a document with our.
I mean, we can look at this to see if we want to use that, which is already
I
created.
think Sal's has one too.
Yeah, I think this might be close to it, but it was created in 2012, that one, but, and then there's a sample, like I said, the one that they have on the Corinth website is quite in-depth, but if you wanted, I mean, we could look and see what we can. I would say that I can help you with that. I would love to help you, but two of us writing one document is,
I mean, if,
I have,
I'll be happy to put together a document that we can look at.
okay,
Is that all right with people?
yeah, that's all right with me, but if you don't have time or something, reach out and let me share the burden.
Well, I just share your stress stream, so. I just have one more job to do.
Yeah. I also wanted to let you know, for training purposes, all the training certificates and those forms that I gave out at the last meeting, like, verifying that you've taken the 2 hours training plus the sexual harassment training. I have to have that on a form that I've turned into Marion to be submitted to New York State for the annual report on libraries, and that report is due from Marion in February. So mid-January, and I'd have to have all the documentation from all the trustees that their training's been completed. And we were, before you got here, Josh, we were just chatting, but do you need the sexual harassment training from Sal's, or do you have that from another source?
No, we had asked Sal's for it and they never got back to me, so I just took it.
So do you have a certificate of completion for 2025? So just take, like, scan that and send it to me and I'll put it on the document.
Where did you take it from?
I searched online for a New York State accepted sexual harassment training.
Cause,
And that's what we need to do.
Mhm.
I thought I was supposed to wait for a link.
Well,
yeah,
Sal's has it, so it's just
Sal's
easy
does
that
it, it's through Trailient is the company that offers it.
Mhm.
But what Pamela has explained to me is she has to order 5 at a time. But it's not just from our library, from the whole consortium that we are. So you should receive the link, Josh, from Trailient, because I'm pretty sure I gave her your name,
Yeah, I didn't, so I took care of it myself.
so.
Okay, so we can just find something that's New York State.
I'm not sure I don't know, because there's certain places that are acceptable according to the,
Yeah,
I would have to see
Maybe
your
you could share
certificate to see.
The one that you took with Beth, so she knows.
Sure.
Okay.
I can look at the ones we have at work too.
And the last thing is that I did sign up for, training through the handbook training, the trustee handbook book club. And it's 5 to 6:30 on Tuesday, which is in November 18th, which is before the meeting. So I can be here and I can have this up, and anybody that wants to come and join me, I can just let them know we're doing it together, and you can get your certificate. It's an hour and a half. It's on next level trusteeship, building an effective library board. So I've already signed up to do it for myself, and I'm offering it to anybody else that wants to join me.
That's 18th.
It would be the 18th of November, and it would start at 5 o'clock. It's a webinar. So that would give you an hour and a half. And then there's another half an hour left.
They're also the trustee handbook book club also has them online, so you can just watch them
At any
at
time.
any time.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's the way I did it. I figured them as being an hour because the last half hour was questions and something.
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
stay for the questions.
All right.
So I took
An
the
hour.
Yeah.
You took 2 of them.
Yeah. But this is at 5.
It's at 5 o'clock on Tuesday, November 18th. And if the last half hour is questions, I bet we can just log off and start the meeting without having it be an extra night. But I want you to get your certificate. So since I signed up, I need to reach out to them and say, listen, I'm gonna do this with other people, so everybody gets certified.
I'll let you know.
Okay.
Sounds like it's.
But we need to independently sign up.
I don't know. I think I don't know if you do. If we watched it on this projector right here, we are all watching it. We're all getting the training. You could probably just fill in one of those self-assurance forms that said you did it and that's it, right?
Yeah, that's what I did with the webinars before.
On September 16th, I scheduled just my own personal sit down with the staff, with Marion, Claire and Taylor to just start. It's non-evaluative talk. It's just sit down, start to brainstorm ideas about budgeting, listen to dreams and wishes and issues or whatever. So I thought it would be a good idea to regularly meet and learn what I can learn about how to be supportive and helpful and give them a mechanism for just chatting with me, and maybe we can come up with ideas about the budget that we're gonna be dealing with soon. That is all from my president's report.
Good.
Colin?
In front of you is the bills for the month. If anybody got any questions or not in regards to that. But, this was all approved by the board. Okay, so is there any questions? Let's start here then. I make a motion to approve, to pay the bills. The only thing I did want to highlight that the cover and ring on our septic was a little bit more than what was put in the budget, just so
Okay.
everybody knows that.
Mhm.
So they hit us with more money for labor, which I don't know, but it needed to be done.
Okay.
It's done. It should be good forever. So I just wanted the board to know that.
Okay.
And, another side note, with going over things with, Tammy, because she sends me the numbers and I look at the numbers. Throughout the country.
Yeah, I'm bringing that up, and that's because I am
Okay.
really upset about it.
So you made a motion to.
I made a
pay
motion to
these.
accept the bills for the month.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. What's got me really upset here tonight is I try hard to make this as good as I can get it. It's approved by all your board members, okay? And it clearly states exactly how much across the board, okay? So now, Tammy sends a message to Marion that why she did this is beyond me.
I have a theory on it.
Well, I don't have a theory. I am very upset with it. She went ahead and paid, Del Renzo County went ahead and paid $1,800 for the lawn care. When it specifically states in this that they were to get $900 for the first 6 months. Okay? And then she turns around and sends them another $900 when she looked and seen that I did specify when she was supposed to give the $900 for the first 6 months. So right now, Del Lorenzo, in my book, owes us $1,800 that they overpaid. They're only supposed to pay $900 for the first 6 months. She went ahead and paid $1,800 and then turns around and says, I don't know why I had to give them another $900. Well, that says in black and white. That, you know.
What?
So
not
she
this
No,
week,
it's not
This
in
one,
July.
this was
she
July.
paid 9 the first time and then paid 9 again.
Well, what happened is we paid the 900 and then I got the contract and I sent her the contract, so she knows that this is gonna be coming up and she knows that the contract has already been approved. It's information only. So after she got the contract, this is my theory, is she assumed that that was another bill, but it was just information about the $900 twice a year. And she took it as a bill.
So she paid,
But
First
she
she
should
paid
be
900
looking at
And,
And then
and
she
it was
paid-
because when I went over the numbers after the last board meeting, I discovered that, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, I'm like, did you actually pay them this? And then I got this email when I got back from vacation.
So are they willing to give our money back?
I have not reached out to them. I mean, today was my first day back from vacation and it
This
was,
just got sent, Josh, on the 5th of September.
right, and I
So-
just saw it today.
Two things. There's a direct line of communication that should only come from the treasurer, the VP of finance that should authorize spending.
Right.
And that should come with the board approved this spending. And she didn't
Absolutely.
have that with the contract. She had that with the prior. So she definitely needs to be told, hey, you're definitely wrong on this. You spent our funds without us knowing, but we also need to contact the landscaping company right away.
Yeah, but my question is, we need to, or does she, Josh?
Yeah, I think
Because
she does.
She technically sent $1,800 illegally, as far as I'm concerned.
So, wait, the 1,800 illegally is confusing.
It's 900.
It's 900 once, 900 twice.
The approval of the board was for $900 in
Okay.
July.
Yep,
Okay, that's all that should have been sent to them, and that's for the first 6 months.
okay.
She went on and paid $1,800,
Mm-hmm.
then turned around and sent them another 900 because I said to send 900.
Oh, okay.
So she's paid them 1,800 plus the 900. So
Okay.
that's what's 27?
$2,700.
Okay,
Yes,
Has she given any comment on this? Like, whoops, I'm sorry, I apologize.
I didn't
just
see
that
anything.
letter there, because like I said, I actually had an opportunity to go over the numbers before I left on vacation. And I emailed her the discrepancies that I was finding, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm like, did you pay them $1,800? I said, that's 1,800 is for the whole year, and it says that in the contract. And, then like I said, this email came through on the 5th that I saw this morning, and I printed it out for Colin. And I'm just like, oh crap,
so what we approved was a full year contract for 1,800.
right, to be paid in
Two
two installments.
payments, 900.
Yes,
And,
That's what it
I mean,
states
it
right
could
here
be-
in my,
right, so, and we haven't told her this yet. We haven't reached out to her and said, this is a mistake, or we
She
have.
knows
oh
it's
no,
a
I told her it was a mistake before I went on vacation. I said, that was not supposed to be paid. I said it's $900 now. I said, and then $900, and I think it's like February we pay it.
And this response is after we told her it was a mistake?
And what does the response say?
we will have to ask for a refund of 900. We have paid 1,800. Then 900. So
So they pay $2,700. We need to get $1,800 back, and then they get the other $900. It's like February.
and that's what it states right here when I make this out.
I mean, T has been very reasonable to work with. I have not had a chance to reach T. I can't remember her last name, but she's my contact for backcountry. She's been very reasonable to work with, but
Yeah.
I did not have a chance to respond to that today. But I'm happy to reach out to T unless you wanna handle it through Tammy.
But with a small business, sometimes small businesses operate paycheck to paycheck and they're using those funds to do other jobs. So this could create a very tight situation for them. So we wanna contact them so we don't have to play the game of, can Tammy do it? Does she have time? That kind of thing. But I think you, Janice, have to contact Tammy and let her know how serious this is. And this is a massive problem. And it can't happen again, that it has to be approved by the full board. And if there's nothing in writing that says that, she shouldn't be paying that.
Don't you contact Tammy? I mean, I'll contact her. I have
I
no
think
trouble
I have very
contacting her.
You're the highest party, right?
Right.
So you should go to you.
I'm just trying to wrap my head
I'm
around
just-
who said what, when, and what went where, and if I
Well,
wasn't
you got-
involved in it, it's kind of hard,
You got.
but I can do that.
But I think the
July.
relevant
Every- all
information
board
is she
members get
overpaid
copies
without
of this
approval.
In
Yep.
July.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
And the meeting and the dates all right here.
Okay,
And then as you look right here, this is for the first 6 months.
uh-huh,
It states $900, and that's all that she was supposed to pay. I mean,
Okay.
she's not gonna go by the sheet. This is a big waste of my time.
Right,
Okay.
and then I got the contract from them in, I think, after the board meeting of July. And I just forwarded it to her, which is practice to send her, so she knows the contract. She has a copy of our fuel oil contract,
mhm,
just so she knows that that's as a bill, this is gonna be recurring.
Mhm.
As information only.
Got it.
And like I said, thankfully I caught the mistake.
Mm.
And then I emailed her. I can forward you the email I sent to her before I,
sure. So I can reach out to her and I can say, that this is a concern. You're reaching out to Backcountry to see if we get the refund,
Yes, I
right?
It's too bad
And
Backcountry didn't say, hey, whoa, this check,
yeah,
we should take this check.
Yeah, okay. Well, we can get the refund and we can get it clarified that kind of,
Well, if we don't get
Sending out
refunded,
a
then
I don't know. we-
making it loud and clear
Yep,
here that we
yep.
need to go after the accounting firm for making a serious mistake here for us.
gotcha.
I go to the bank, day of the meeting, I was there today. Tammy sent to this on Friday, which I appreciate her sending this to me. But it's already old and, in our main account, it's $4,000 difference because of payroll and stuff.
Mhm.
So
Gotcha.
when I do this, I try to be just as thorough as I can, exactly where every nickel and dime
Is
is.
that why we got in the insufficient funds? Because of that $1,800 check?
No, shouldn't,
Okay.
no, should not have had any effect to that at all.
Okay,
No, I would just be very firm on Marion is never approving spending.
I'm going
Marion's-
to do this film
No, I
call. I
just-
got this. So
because-
I wanna make a date with you where you and I can call her together. So
Okay.
I can have her in speaker and that way I'm not gonna mess up
Yeah,
that
no, that's,
she sent this then and when she sent it, so you and I can make a date to do that together?
sure,
Okay.
Yeah, sending her a contract is not sending her an authorization.
no, it's not,
This
Gotcha,
is the only authorization.
right.
gotcha. Okay.
Approved
we'll
by the-
clarify.
That, and then if it's something separate from this, you always write a letter and sign it that I attach
Right.
with the stamp.
Something,
So, yeah, no, I never just say, hey, go ahead and pay this.
Got it.
That's not how we roll.
Do you have more?
Yeah,
Okay.
okay. It's been over a year and we still haven't got cleared up so we can get sexual harassment molestation
Oh.
insurance,
Yeah, I know.
okay?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna talk to the attorney because I've tried to and I get nowhere. And Ted was somewhat handling that, but it needs to get cut and dry. Because we're still floating out there with none of this insurance.
Yeah.
Okay? All right.
That
Next
was on
issue.
my docket for meeting with him, talking to him this month. Like, he's been responsive to me. But I've been careful to keep it like 2 issues a
Yeah.
month. So this month, that was on my
Because we-
notes
we
to say,
paid-
we gotta deal with
I
this.
mean,
We
we
gotta-
paid a lot of money back.
Yeah.
I got it all right here in the lawyer stuff.
Mhm.
Okay. Next issue, I wanted to bring it up to the board. That due to the Hudson River being so low, we're getting a lot of traffic coming out of the bank parking lot across our property, where the trail is beaten to the ground. So they're all out there looking at the falls. And I'm kind of concerned of our liability insurance that we may be hanging ourselves out there. I recommend that we, after I've investigated with the bank next door,
Mhm.
the property on the other side, the back side of that fence belongs to the town of Lake Luzerne.
Mhm.
I think we need to send a certified letter to Lake Luzerne in concerns of the traffic that's coming onto the property, going down to the river. When I spoke to the people today at the bank, they've made it loud and clear. Supposedly the town is looking into putting up a new fence. But as you can see, just from here by the tree, it's wide open there, the path coming down. And all the signs that they've got on the back of the property of the bank, which belongs to the town of Lake Luzerne, you can't even read them anymore, which state no trespassing beyond this point. So just to cover ourselves, I
Yep.
really feel we need to get a letter of concern to the town, basically to cover ourselves for a liability
Yep.
accident.
Yep.
The river's low right now, it's great. Now you get a rainy day, river's still low, the rocks are slippery, whatever. We just don't need any more.
And they're, this is, I guess, maybe beside the point, but they're gonna be draining the river for a week, 3 different times, starting September 19th for work on the.
Yeah, they
yeah,
drained
down
it
there.
today, but that has nothing to do,
I know,
that flow
with
there
the-
is
yeah.
coming.
I
I mean,
would,
I went by Saturday, there had to be 25 people out there on rocks, which I understand, it's all part of
Mhm.
seeing that.
Yep.
But I'm just concerned,
For
I know the
liability.
bank is concerned because they're on top of it too, but I
Yep.
think we ought to highlight right
Yep.
along with it.
okay,
Thank you.
Do we need no trespassing signs?
Well,
Well, we'll
The
ask the
town.
town,
We'll
we'll
see what
ask
the
the
town's
town
gonna
about
do.
the fence and the signs and
And
the,
they need
You
to
know,
address it. They told next door that they were gonna just hang some chain along there. So they can figure out, find somebody that can, financially fence it off. All right, thank you.
well, thank you for making my stress dream come true.
What they tell you when they sit down?
Um,
Poor Janet.
Coming
Secretaries.
from this side. not the other side, so Be thankful.
I don't really have a report. I just want to remind people that, our November meeting is on the 18th because of,
Because of the scheduling conflict, yeah,
well, because of, Veterans Day, right?
Veterans
Yeah,
Day,
11.
reschedule, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we'll post that on the website. Yes.
Managers report.
Yes. Just, some news and updates. I think I mentioned it last month, but on October 25th is the annual Fall Fest, at the school. We plan to mobilize like we did last year. That was very hugely successful. Also, when we approved the current budget, the board was gracious to give us, a smaller, a small budget for Hoopla, and that, I'm tweaking it as we go with my representative from Hoopla. We are still over the monthly budget to stay within that budget. We have reduced the, price point that, patrons can sign stuff out at, and we're gonna be reducing it by one. Should it be started on September 1st. And then I'll reevaluate at the end of September and, possibly have to revisit it and see, and, so that we can stay within that budget line that we were given. Students from the high school, are going to be coming down and helping out the library. They have a, school to work program.
Mhm.
And Courtney contacted me in June of last year. We've been in touch. I think there's gonna be 4, but they come down with supervisors, they're not left unattended. And to get the work experience, which will give us some built-in, volunteers.
Yeah.
2 to 3 days a week. And when we have our staff meeting next Wednesday, we're going to be compiling a list of duties that we could use their help with, and then things will move forward from there. So we're very excited about this. Very excited to be interacting with the teams, and I think it'll be a wonderful opportunity.
Great.
Also, I did submit the construction grant. Woohoo! I'm just waiting on a UEI number from the government. Basically, we have to prove that that we are an existing entity. They don't have any record of us. And I just submitted more paperwork today. It's quite something to do that, but it's in process. But the grant was submitted. I talked with Pamela. She said to go ahead and submit it, and then submit the UEI later. And I included with the application that I had applied for one, and I had proof from sam.gov that I had submitted for one. And as Colin already mentioned, the riser and the cap for the septic was done today. And we did it publicly on our social media, but I want to verbally say out loud a big thank you to Northern Traders for the 2 beautiful Adirondack chairs out in our backyard that will be there during the seasonally appropriate weather. They will be housed inside during the winter months. But we are very, very grateful for them, and they were enjoyed by those who came along for the Read by the River every Friday in August. They have been very popular, and we really appreciate that.
Do you think we need to send them a thank you card, or you think that's appropriate what you're doing?
I think your card would probably be nice. I'm gonna look up their address.
Because that's quite a bit of money they.
Yeah.
Spent.
Yeah.
So,
Alright.
And then, the end of last month, we received they call it an LLSA grant check. Sal's sends them out, It is actually, New York State Library Aid. So that was deposited. That's the big highlight, and then I have under items to discuss the whole thing with fundraisers and volunteers, but I am, waiting for responses from Robert, and I know we're in the process of filling out, reports and whatnot, the policy. And then you have a whole bunch of statistics. And you guys have your beautiful graph here that Claire makes. And then there's another, legal size paper. Instead of me, retyping everything, she has each program individually listed in a chart. Tells you what it is, who the target audience was, and the number of people that attended. Instead of it being on my manager's report, it's on this. This is easier, more time efficient. And then there's a summary off to the side of how many events we had for kids and teens and adults. And just general. So we had a total of 30 events during the month of August. And we had 335 people attend to those 30 different events. And you can see, whether it was teens or adults, and it doesn't seem to matter who we target. There's usually a little bit of an eclectic group of the different age groups, which is wonderful, especially with the kids. Having mom and dad, a grandparent, older sibling is wonderful. So, and then just, one other thing I wanted to mention, I don't know if you can call your attention to the back of the room. There's this nice 11 by 17 frame. We passed the new library policy that we amended slightly. Claire reformatted it to fit on a single piece of ledger paper, which we purchased a single package of that for in-house use and purchased frames. So the library use policy is nicely framed on one sheet of paper and hung throughout the library. We're looking for a couple more places to hang them so that it's very visible for patrons to see, and it's in a readable font. So I really appreciate Claire's help with that. So I think that's pretty much it on that. I changed my list at the end a little bit. There's still some buildings and ground, but because Maggie and Janet have been repeating it to me several times, I started a wish list. Wish list for things outside and the wish list for things inside. And the girls and I are going to talk about it more next week, and hopefully with you as well, Janice. Maybe we can put that online for people to just see, hey, the library's looking for this. I have one I don't need. I'm getting rid of it, or something along that line. So if there are no questions on anything, then that's pretty much it.
I don't know. So I just wanted to congratulate Taylor.
Oh, yes.
Do you wanna, you go,
Yeah, Taylor, wrote a book, specifically for her son.
Yeah,
please.
let's see it.
For her son Levi, because he is fascinated with the freshwater jellyfish that are located in Lake Luzerne, and she couldn't find a book about them, so she wrote one herself. And she's self-published, but the Lake Association has helped her get a grant where she's going to be able to get more of them published to actually more widely circulate.
Yeah.
And of
That's
course,
great.
we have
It's been
autographed
being
copies in
checked
our
out
local
for
author section.
Yeah. It's wonderful.
It's wonderful, yeah, the illustration,
Yeah.
she did a really nice job.
Yeah. I'm glad to.
Thank you for that reminder.
Yeah.
So they helped her publish a few more copies?
Yeah, then she, there was a grant that she could apply for, that they helped her apply for, and she did receive it. I don't know all the nitty gritty details of it, but she should be able to be, mass printing some more of these. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
So maybe other libraries can get them.
that's great. Good job. Thank you. And, so the next thing on the agenda should give you a chuckle because it's not business at all. We're not voting on anything. But under old business, it says that Beth will be reporting on serving an aging community.
So it's really old people business.
Old people business.
So I was looking around for a training class to take, and I saw this one on serving older adults in a changing world is what it was called. And it seemed like they had a lot of good ideas. I don't really know how many things are going on. I'm going to investigate a little more at the senior center, but all of these things, I mean, some of them I thought I would be, and people in my Fourth Lake community would be interested in knowing about, just having to do with. So, some of the ideas in the video, I'll throw out some of the ideas in the video, and then just talking to people, some people came up with some other ideas too. And I don't know the best way to proceed about what would be, reasonable to try to do, but, so some of the ideas were to have AARP come in and talk about Social Security and Medicare. That's something that I'm currently investigating for myself, and friends are too, so it might be something useful for the community.
Yeah.
And having a bookmobile or some way of delivering books to people, maybe there is such a thing, I'm not really sure. So that was an idea, and then they talked about having job descriptions for reaching out for skilled older volunteers, people who are retired but who have a lot of skills, to give volunteers challenging tasks. And I thought that seemed like a good idea. They talked about bringing in a chef from an assisted living place, and giving a talk on nutrition.
Nice.
And a technology fair. Now, some of these things would be good to be doing at the senior center. I don't really know enough about them, whether that's feasible, whether we should have a joint thing with them, or if we want to do it as a library thing, if we do want to do any of these things. And then, let's see. Then some other ideas. We had someone, I don't know her last name, Priscilla, who lives in Stony Creek, and she came to our community and took us all on a garden tour of different people's gardens to see what was invasive and what was native. And I don't know anything about any of that, but I just found it so interesting. And one of the things she talked about was medicinal plants. And that I just think is, personally, I just think that's so interesting as far as being alternatives to pharmaceuticals and stuff like that. So I just threw out to her, would she be interested in talking at the library? And she said yes.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I don't know if that's something that we want to do. And
So these are mostly like programming ideas. That we could look into.
The bookmobile one is, I thought, I used to love the bookmobile as a little kid, but then it was like a real, the RV drove up and kind of like the ice cream man or something, everybody ran out and got their books. But for an elderly population, if people could somehow call in and say they wanted certain books, if we had, once we got maybe more of a robust volunteer system, we could have people that would say, I'd be willing to drive and deliver the books. You bag them up and something, and I'd be willing to, books on wheels, I'd be willing to take them out and then go pick them up on the date. Just
Just
to,
about them signing, referring them, and we sign them out to them here and.
Yeah.
Deliver them.
yeah, I'm just saying, if we had volunteer system that matched this kind of programming, that's one thought.
Yeah, and then walking groups and nutrition workshops, and I know that there's such a vibrant younger participation in the library, and I was wondering if we want to try to increase the older population, especially, I was starting to think from a fundraising point of view. These are people who have, or some of them may be people who have money, and if they see a benefit to what they're getting out of the library, that
Yeah, absolutely.
might help when it comes around to like raising raising the amount of taxes that people pay, that kind of thing. So, and then there were some other ideas of getting, tech help here to help people.
They have that one. Don't you have something that's
Yes, we have.
like
something
outs or
called-
some,
It's
what is,
Oats.
Oats.
It's through,
Yeah.
through Sal's, I don't know if it's too late to sign up for the training. It is very involved. I looked into it last year and it was just, of course, last year it was just Claire and I, when I first found out about it, I'm just like, yeah, no. And it's still, it's just very, very involved. You have to have regular classes.
okay.
Sal's does provide, the computers and whatnot,
Mhm.
but you're teaching a class.
Okay.
Do they provide, so who would be teaching the class? Like a volunteer?
A volunteer, staff member, Jack Scott at Sal's is the one to talk to specifically about that.
So, yeah, so anyway, I'm not sure what the best way, as far as seeing which of these ideas we think are good at following up on, and how to do that.
Thanks for sharing them and getting the seed planted so we can figure out what we can do and how to need to do it.
The survey,
What's that?
the survey may give us some ideas
Yes.
too.
Mhm.
The survey went out, end of August.
Mhm.
The annual survey to patrons in the community.
So that'll give us some interest, but I think if we have, I think what we're looking for is free programs. So if people can volunteer to do something.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, well, like this person, Priscilla, I was asking, my friend who brought her to our community, like, why did she do this? Does she just love to do this, or does she have
Somebody
a
you
business
pay.
that?
Yeah.
And, she said she just loves to do it, but she does have like a landscaping business. So would it be okay if she spoke here, if she had business cards or something like that?
If she's not if she speaks here and she has a business card, but she's not signing contracts and making people pay for that.
Right.
Right.
Isn't that okay?
Yep.
I mean, people are selling books here. The only thing is we need a waiver. Medicinal plants can be very, very dangerous, and a lot of people get very, very sick or even die from medicinal plants. So you have to have, different people have different opinions about specific plants, and some people are highly, for instance, tea tree oil. If my wife puts tea tree oil in anything, then I puff up like a balloon. I'm very, very highly allergic to it, but she's not. So we have to be very careful. We would have to have a waiver for something like that for sure.
Just to share the information, you have to have a waiver? I
If
mean,
you're giving advice on the usage of something and you're saying you can use this for this, and someone gets very sick from it, that makes you liable.
Well, I'm pretty sure, because it's what she said to us, that she's not giving us any advice. She's just saying things that have been commonly
sharing
used.
information.
And yeah, but that's a good point.
Mhm.
We have to make that very, very clear.
Yeah.
If you think
Yeah,
it's a good idea,
yeah.
I don't know.
No, thank you.
Something I'm interested in. I don't know if anyone else is, but,
I think the AARP thing is really good because I know a lot of people are looking for a face-to-face interaction with someone, and that would be another opportunity for them to have that. So that's a
Yeah.
really good one.
Yes, especially for them helping understand Part D and all that other.
right.
Yes, yes.
So, okay, so that's something I could follow up on. Should I call the AARP?
Oh, that'd be
and see if
great.
they would-
Yeah. Thank you, Beth.
Mhm.
The new business is just, do we want to schedule our first budget meeting? That would be the budget we're starting to look at for
Fiscal
2027, fiscal 2027. And maybe we don't have to schedule it yet, maybe. We also can designate one of the regular board meetings as a budget meeting. We don't have to add, because I know, Josh, it's difficult for you to add like another date, another day. So we could say, for instance, we're going to have our meeting our board meeting, and it is going to focus on the budget for like November or December, or whichever one we want. And we won't be doing other business other than,
But you'd have to
Plan
pay the
bills.
bills.
we'd have to pay the
Just in case
bills,
it
we'd have to pay the
Mhm.
bills, but we would know ahead of time that we're not gonna add anything to that, really.
I think
Do,
I feel like we need to get started in November. I don't
In
think we should
November.
wait any longer than that.
Because did you say, Janice, we have to have it ready by January, right?
we have to, February, we have to have it to the school only if we are asking for an increase.
Okay.
So, do we want to say that November's meeting, the 18th, will be designated as a budget meeting? So when we come to that meeting, we would come with, you know, our questions, our thoughts, these are the things that we think are priorities. This,
That meeting is the one that's outside of the regular schedule that I won't be able to make.
Right.
oh, the November
The
one
one
is?
So you can't do
Yeah,
the
it's
November
not the
one?
second
Right.
Tuesday.
It's the third
And-
Tuesday,
And then December, I won't be here.
and you won't be here. Oh, my.
So,
Next
Hmm.
month,
yeah, should we do? this for
October? Okay,
Yeah.
October is the 14th,
Mhm.
and so we will, and we can put that on,
Do we want to do it instead of a regular business meeting, or do we want to do it earlier?
I think,
Like,
the, for the first one, unless some extenuating circumstance comes up and we have to email and say we have to add this to the meeting, other than paying the bills, we'll try to make that one just talking about budget issues and
Well,
thoughts.
hopefully we'll have some information on the volunteer part of it. and
Right,
Fundraising. Cause
Mhm.
the fundraising is gonna definitely impact the budget. I mean, I know it's not dependable income, but
the fundraising and the solution for the sexual harassment thing are my two, I'm gonna get after Robert for those two things. And, yeah, I'm gonna make those a focus and see if he'll respond. I'll really press on those, okay? So. Do we have to vote on this? I suppose I make a motion that our October meeting is dedicated to budgetary planning for 2027.
I'll second. I don't know if we have to vote, but that's okay.
All in favor? I don't know if we have to vote either, but,
Okay.
okay. Public comments?
I'm not gonna say that.
Okay.
So Jean Seaslick, I was at the July meeting, not the August meeting, and I know you've been talking about the budget, and I was struggling with it, and I didn't make it to August meeting, so I'm here. It was discussed that you guys were looking at maybe doing a 2% increase, and I was going way back before everybody got involved, all before that, and there was no solid consistency in budget and spending. And now that you have some consistency and you have a board, I would, as a tax-paying person, I would say, I would look for an increase. I would show the community that you can fix what a lot of concerns were before you going asking for that money. And with that, way before, I would always ask for, you did a program, how many people attended, was it successful, but how much did you spend on that and how much per person? So that when you're looking, and I know that Marion and Claire have done the nice new things, but are you looking at, okay, was that program $3,000 and 2 people showed up? I'm just throwing out big numbers because those are things that I know I have to be fiscally responsible for with the town. And it's the taxpayers' money, and I want to see that as well, and I didn't see that before. And again, I'm one of those people that have come in before, and I'm coming as much as I can. And I want to be able to go and say, yes, they're doing great things, yes, they're doing this, and push that forward. We have to also let people know that too, because if you're like, the painting for Patricia, I'm sure that's wonderful. Is it the same 8 people over again? Are they just coming to free paint? How do you budget that? Like, I know when I started doing the, 10 or 12 kids, I always had new kids rotate because everyone should get an opportunity. It shouldn't be just, oh, Susie and her bunch of friends are coming and painting for free
Mhm.
when no one else can, and I don't know, I'm just
Not
throwing it out there
not
for.
with Patrice, and we've actually started making notes with the paint with Andrew as well.
And those are
So,
important
so
things.
that and also all the painting classes for this fiscal year are covered by the LARIC grant that I secured, so it's not coming out of taxpayer money.
But the taxpayers don't know that. So those are things that,
So what, other than us say, because everything that you just mentioned, we've brought up and discussed at
In
board
public
meetings, public
Okay.
meetings that are online. How else do you think that we should let the public know?
and, just, I put it on Facebook all the time, and I don't get to see all the meetings and listen to them all, but, there's people that don't even do that, and they're complaining.
Mhm.
So, those are things that, I know I'm out there and I'm always going to everything and I'm always talking to the kids and the parents and stuff like that. So I don't know, I know that was one of our goals and the thing that Marion's going to the clubs and stuff,
Mhm.
but I don't know how many you've touched. I don't know, where you've gone. So, those are things that just need to be told.
Okay.
And that,
I get grabbed just being out in the community.
Mhm.
I just get grabbed at times. I go to exercise class and
Right.
somebody wants to.
right,
chew
but
me
how
ear.
many people you're getting grabbed, but if you go to the American Legion, you go to the VFW, I mean, even if you would have come to our end of the year picnic, you could have, I mean, how many people do we have there? We had over 100 people.
You had a lot of
And a
people.
lot of parents, and nobody came, and you guys worked with us on the Tuesday, so, those are things that, those are things that you should be, not just, but anybody, I mean,
The representative.
a representative from it, and it's not a jab at you, it's just,
No.
you're doing good things, we need to let the public know,
Okay.
and that's so important to
Mhm.
the livelihood of,
Mhm.
the library. And the other thing too, and so for 2 years, almost 2 years, there's been nothing for kids 4 and under. There's no preschool here.
Are trying.
And I have kids and even before it closed, it was so inconsistent. I would show up with kids and, oh, we're not doing it today. And again, they said, the library, youth person isn't here. Well, you're the director.
Mhm.
It's advertised, come and sit and read. I know you're busy, but you have patrons that could be from 2 to 100, God willing,
Mhm.
that you're saying no to. And those are things that need to be put out there too. And I mean, a story hour for a kid, it's vitally important. And
We did that all summer long.
Yeah.
Every Wednesday, we had a toddler story time, and I think once we had one kid show up. And I know timing is an issue. I'm hoping,
what time did you have it?
I think it was right at 1 o'clock.
They're napping.
Well, the thing is, okay, so here's the thing, is we ask these questions and we streamline the survey this year. So it's 1 page instead of 2 pages. But we don't get a lot of feedback from that. We need to know,
All right, I'm here. I'm telling you, 10 o'clock. I know you open at 10 and this was a big, this was a big.
Taylor's not here.
Mhm.
Then you're not gonna hear that crowd because they're gonna do it before they go to lunch. And when they go to lunch, they're gonna go take a nap. And if you don't do it at that 10 o'clock, you're not gonna get that. And you're not gonna get those moms. And those are
Maybe
those are
that's a
important
good,
things.
thing for a volunteer who wants to, I know
Right.
when
I
I was
mean,
growing
yeah.
up, my mom volunteered as the story reader at our local library.
Switch Taylor's hours and have her do, every Wednesday, and I would say Wednesday because there are a couple kids that are in 3-year-old that go to preschool and they're Tuesdays and Thursdays. So Wednesday would be great. Have her come in on Wednesday and have one of you guys stay late. And, those are,
We're here open to close.
I'm just throwing out ideas. But if you don't hit that target,
Mhm.
you're never gonna get that target. So those are things that I'm very passionate about, obviously.
Mhm.
And I think that that's very important for the stability and the community, because these kids are not getting the socialization.
Maybe one of the wish list things would be a volunteer story reader.
Yeah.
Who could come in.
Yeah, no, it's definitely on our radar. We have been talking about it.
Yeah.
It's just, in many ways, we feel like we're just throwing pasta at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Mhm.
Because I mean, I'm kind of new to it and some things have been fabulous and we do evaluate our programs, especially the ones that we're paying somebody to be here
And
for.
as you should.
I mean, we had one local author who came shortly after I started last summer, and her program was phenomenal. We had a great turnout. We had her return in the winter time, and it was a big, and she's expensive, and she raised her rates, so we're not having her back. Nothing against the author or her stories, we carry her books, but to shell out $600 and have 3 kids show up, that's not fiscally responsible.
Mhm.
But you don't know until you try.
Right.
You know, we had 2 $500 programs this summer. And one was very well attended. We had the quintet from the music center, a very nice turnout. We had Professor Pickles, a decent turnout, but it was just kind of a, probably not again.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, I have to try.
Right, and that's the thing, you're trying and it's great and, you know, wonderful, but then to go and ask the community for more money because you wanna do what, you just show them in a report or something that those are the things that you're doing.
Well, if we did that, we would be out and doing the sales pitch. We have to do that. We know that that's our responsibility,
Mhm.
but we don't even know if we're doing that yet. We're talking budget. We're gonna talk about all the options. If we think we need to raise, if we can do it this way, we're trying to be very creative and we
I
know
want
we
to
have to.
help. That's why,
communicate.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not saying
Yeah.
anything is not, it's great, but,
Yeah.
you know, but I'm saying these are the things that I'm hearing, and like.
Yeah.
Dane had he had his, Riverfest.
yes,
And, you know, his, you know, the feedback he got was, it was wonderful, this, that, and the other thing. And he's like, Gene, please, just tell me what you heard. And I'm like, I heard it was wonderful. I was there. It was wonderful. The only thing that I would say is you need a tent because it was an open field and it was hot that day and we were all dying.
Mhm.
So, you know, and these are the things that I'm hearing. I mean, I'm with a lot of
Right.
kids and families and I,
But I can tell you, you know, that being in the thick of it versus on the outside looking in, you do have a different picture. I mean,
absolutely.
and no budget, my household budget could not sustain 5 years without an increase in income because things go up.
Mhm.
And that is part of our problem is expenses have continued to go up and the income.
My
has
first
not.
year with the youth was a $5,000
So
budget. So I know that.
I'm just saying that
But I'm
is
also
a
telling,
part of it. It's
I
not,
also tell people, you know, they're like, why don't you do this? Why don't you do, this is exactly why we can't do this. This is exactly why we can't do that, you know, and I raised the prices on some of our field trips and they're like, well, why would you do that? They gave you more money. Well, because minimum wage is $15.50 and I have to hire more kids because I have more kids, you know, I've got my hire more teens at $15.50. And I can't even tell you
and
how
it's
much.
more
I do
than
without
that
getting
because
paid.
there's payroll taxes, et cetera.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, I know, we know all about that, don't we, dear?
And, you know, I mean,
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to cut you off, but we do appreciate all of the ideas and the input and the, so thank
I
you.
mean, that's what I've been trying to do is just because, as I said, over the years, when we had the huge budget at the school, you had the huge thing, you know, we don't have a business here to bring people in.
Mhm.
It's our school, it's our library, it's our community. And if we don't hit the youth,
Mhm.
we're not going to sustain our community. And if we don't bring young families in, we're not gonna, I mean, it's great to do the elderly, but unfortunately.
Be
it's a
careful.
shorter
Be
investment. I know,
careful.
I'm a senior citizen.
Be very,
I'm a senior
very
citizen,
careful.
But also, you have to make sure that this is the place that people want to come. And you guys are doing a much better job than what it was. And I don't want you to think that it's, you know, coming here to say, do this, but I really, the youth talk to me. I mean, I'm always getting stuff and just I'm the representative because no one else wants to come out. I have little kids at home.
But you still read children's books, don't
I
you?
do still read children's books.
Thank you,
I do.
Jean. Did you want to, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. If you want to pull someone else, and I have a couple suggestions based on what Jean said.
Okay,
Just on.
bring him to the budget meeting. Do you want to keep, okay, sorry, would
Just
you
to
like?
click on the other one, cheers.
Yes.
We did.
Yeah, we did, yep. I asked permission first, though,
Yeah.
because I was like, some people don't want to
Yeah,
manage.
it's gonna be able to
Yeah.
break in flat.
Cause the day that they gave them to me, they said they'd been hit by like 3 other people before I was there because I'm like very sensitive also to small towns, businesses that
Yeah.
get asked every time they turn around to give. And, so I was like, do you want us to put it on social media? And they were like, yeah, that's okay.
Ed's too nice.
Yeah.
One of
So
the
do
easy
you want-
things that we could do is the statistics and the programs that could be put on the library drop down on the website. You already put this all together. If you just copy pasted both of those, that would
Mhm.
achieve some of what she's saying. Also, there's a notice on Facebook that says important children's services notice due to staffing issues. Children's services will be suspended until further notice starting September 25th.
What? On our social media?
Are you on the right one?
It might be an old
That
one.
might be the old one. when-
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's probably.
I think it's about that.
Was,
Do you, Claire?
That-
No, I think,
So what is the graphic for ours then?
The, our
logo.
logo, yeah.
Is it the sign kind of thing, not the
Yeah.
logo?
It looks like the sign. It looks like the sign, yes.
Yeah, it's just.
The old page we can't take down, so. you
Yeah, I have
to
no
find the
access to that. A former employee has access to it, and she actually made a comment on the new Facebook page. And so I reached out to her and asked her to please call the library, and crickets. So she's not really interested.
So
in
the
helping.
other thing that I did, because I got hacked on Facebook and that's how I run a lot of the youth stuff. I had to go on my husband's and use his, so now our new one says Hadley Youth 2025. So maybe if you put the year and change your year on your thing, people won't get that mixed.
This is it.
Yeah, I see it.
But it does come up still often.
The problem is it looks older than the other one, you know what I mean?
Well, it's.
My eyes go to the other one because it looks fresher, newer.
But it's not. Taylor just put a new picture up of the front of the library with the flowers blooming. He literally just did that.
I know we do.
Your 2 minutes are up.
If all hearts are clear, then I would like to
And
adjourn
we do appreciate it.
the meeting. Yes, so.
Oh, and before you go though, I
Oh,
want you to
yes,
know
you
that
did this.
Colin volunteered to cook our whole entire, luncheon. He did well over 100 hot dogs and everything, and that's it.
So see, we have representatives.
He's a good.
We did, but he was behind.
Were they good is the question.
It wasn't on top library.
All right, and with that, thank you,
Yeah.
Colin. We would adjourn this meeting. Do I need a motion?
You do.
Yeah.
I move that we adjourn this meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And tell me.
Oh, what time it really is? Hold on. It is 7:37.
Yeah, that's.